Welcome to lesson 9 on muting. Muting is basically a way to hide items or hide dollar figures so that they don't show up on the quote. So starting right here on the right side, we'll start from left to right. We have WM. That's going to be warehouse mute. That's going to mute where that item is coming from. So if you have multiple warehouses and locations and you're having to bring in equipment from different locations, that's going to hide where they're coming from so the client doesn't have to see that. Now, if you would like to change all those at once, just click at the top and it's going to go ahead and warehouse mute all of the items. The next one is going to be note mute. Right here we have a note category. So on this CL5 cover, we can just create right here, this is a note. And that note is going to print on the quote when we generate it as a PDF. But if we don't want that to show up, we can just hit note mute. The next column over is going to be price mute. That's going to hide the price of that item on the quote. So if we price mute all of our items, it's going to hide the individual price of every single item, but it's going to continue to have the price of the category. So this subtotal of $2,600 for audio will print on the quote, as well as the bottom dollar figure on the very bottom. The next one we have is line mute. That's going to mute it from the quote to where you just can't see that line item on the quote. So for example, if I drag over moving fixtures, it's going to pull over clamps and cases and power cables. And I've got those set to automatically line mute. So the client doesn't have to see that there's, 2 clamps with every moving fixture and a power cable and a case. They don't need to see all that. They just need to see how many lighting fixtures they're getting. So that's just going to mute it to where they don't have to see it and keep their quote really clutter-free. The next item is total mute, and that's going to completely mute it. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see the dollar figure. You're not going to know anything about that item. So right here we have just muted that note. We'll create another note down here that says this is also a note. And we're going to unprice mute this item just so we can see some differences in a couple items. We'll generate this as our quote. Now, as you can see, we price muted this Yamaha CL5, so you don't know how much it cost, but you do see how much the total audio category cost. We also muted the notes, so we don't see that there's a note here. Now this one we did not price mute and we did not note mute, so you can see all of that information and you can see the additional discount that we created in the previous lesson. If you have any questions on muting, feel free to let me know.